Hello, my friend. So it's now June, and we had an early harvest in Hawaii this year, at least on my island. I had a harvest in April and May, and now it's kind of in between. We had a big flowering in April as well, so I expect. So we're getting looking forward to a harvest up in August, September for the white peas, which are here, and this side is Namdak Mai. And these guys have not bad, not 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 great food set, but also not bad. And so these guys will be ready in probably by the end of summer, early fall, which is a good time for me, considering that there's not that much mangoes in the fall in Hawaii. So this is white piri. I don't know if it's the same exactly or from seedling of green Bombay, and so majority of my trellis of these five trellises are white piri. A question I get asked all the time with growing these mangoes. I'm having some pig damage here. A question I get asked is if any particular mango, say, is a particular mango ideal for the trellis, right? And really, any uh any of the mangoes can be trained for the trellis, but is it ideal, right? So here I have a keat mango, and the keat mangoes are really productive. Flowers good, good fruit set, really big fruit, really vigorous tree. Takes a lot of attention to keep the nodes from getting too long, because they have the tendency, like this one, to just flush new leaves off of the terminal without that whole whirl of shoots. And sometimes it'll do that 3, 4, 5 times and get so long and stringy without any budwood, right? So it takes a little bit more maintenance to get the keats on the trellis, but they do well and they produce well. On the other hand, I've seen keats in a traditional conventional orchard that produce 30 tons per hectare, and that's with like 60 trees on an acre. And so if you're trying to figure out like whether a tree is ideal for the trellis, I mean, if you're getting really good production like the keats on a conventional orchard, then I probably wouldn't put it on the trellis, because the trellis is the added expense. And then on the other hand, like for me, this is the white piri, and white piri is really susceptible to powdery mildew. And so it takes, so the tree itself is really nice shape and really adapts well to the trellis, because it flushes when it flushes the leaves, it almost always puts out a whirl of shoots that then you can prune down to the ideal one, so you get plenty of budwood. It has a nice the wood isn't very stiff like Namdak Mai. Sometimes you have a hard time bending the limbs, so they bend really a lot easier, and you can get them on the trellis easier. But as a mango, as a producer, is not very good because it's susceptible to powdery mildew. Now the trellis keeps the size down, keeps the tree down, and allows you to apply fungicides a lot easier than if it was a 20-foot or 30-foot tree. But still, it requires the added work of fungicides in order to get a decent fruit set, because to tell you the truth, without applications of sulfur, or I use also potassium silicate, and sometimes insecticidal soap, without these applications, the fruit set will be way less, close to none, just because of its susceptibility to powdery mildew. Right, so while this tree adapts well to the trellis, it's also not the best producer. So the bottom line is genetics plays a big role in how do you want, in whether or not the tree is gonna be adaptable to these systems. Because I mean, a, a good producing mango that produces every year regularly and is at least moderately resistant or tolerant to powdery mildew and anthracnose is very important in whether or not you're going to be successful with the high density trellises, because or even just a standalone food, because uh, only certain mangoes are going to be profitable in orchard style, where you'd be monocropping for the most part, right? There's just a handful of mangoes that is ideal for that. While all the mangoes do well on the tree, it's not gonna turn a moderate producer into a really good producer, right? If you have a really good producing mango tree, then putting them on a trellis is gonna continue it to be, or it's gonna optimize its production, but it's not gonna make a bad producer a good producer, right? Here's another heat right here. The lighting is horrible, so you can't really see, but this little guy has about 100 mangoes on him. And a lot of the keats are like that. The keats are really good producers, but the mangoes are heavy. Puts a lot of stress on the mango, on the trellises, whereas the white peri stays on inside. So always take genetics into account, but you have to do that with regular orchards. It's not just high density orchards that you have to take a lot of to put a lot of thought into. Even just a conventional orchard, you have to start off with the best variety, or the best variety for what you want to do with it. If you're gonna sell to supermarkets or export, or where you'd be picking a lot of green mature, or whether you're picking for local markets where you direct to consumer sales, it's different methods. So I just wanted to address that. In any orchard style, you have to take the genetics into account, because if you don't start with the best, then you can't expect the best. And I'm learning that as I go along. So that's where we are right now, kind of in between, trying to manage the canopies while the fruit grows up, and look forward to a decent harvest of white peri this year, and keats. So aloha, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Any questions, throw it in the comments, and I usually answer pretty good.